Hello, 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 hello. Gonna start in a second, just need to get my notes out. Sorry, I won't keep singing until I have that ready. Hello, welcome back to the Content on Content show. So today we are talking about content marketing and Cher. Because love her or hate her, I love her. I love her so much. I need to talk about how brilliant Cher is at content marketing and what her main strategy is that we should all be stealing as marketers. So if you're new around these parts, welcome to the third episode of the Content on Content show, where I get on live to chat with all of you in real time about minimalistic content marketing, IRL examples of content marketing awesomeness like Cher, and other fun marketing things. So in the past two episodes that were published last year, we talked about what minimalist marketing is and why most marketers really, really, really need it right now instead of what I like to call more cowbell content marketing, where you try to publish tons of content. And I'll put those videos below if you haven't watched them yet, because we are talking a little bit more advanced today. And throughout those videos, there were tons of pop culture and entertainment industry references for two reasons. Number one, I just don't know how to talk without making pop culture references. You know that about me. But number two, the entertainment industry is the best source of inspiration when it comes to making money through content. That's what the entertainment industry does, content. TV shows are content, books, content, movies, content, and book and music, like Cher's music, is content. And because of the business models of the entertainment industry, they really need to get as much use as possible out of every single piece of content, because that's how they make their money. And I talk about this more in the episode of Content on Content where I talk about the Finesse remix. But so today we are specifically talking about one really popular thing in the music industry that we should all be stealing and using in our own marketing. And that is not remixes. That's something Cher is personally the freaking master of. And that is working your greatest hits. She is so good at this. She has gone on how many farewell tours doing her same favorite greatest hits? And so I've done another video on greatest hits before in terms of just repurposing strategy. And I'll link to that in the description too. But today we're talking deep into specifically using your greatest hits in email marketing. Because your greatest hits are really your best and your highest converting content. They're the things that have earned you the most customers or clients. And so you really, really should be using them in your email marketing strategy. You should be making sure that every single lead, subscriber, new prospect, whatever you want to call them, is seeing your best and highest converting content, right? So you want to make sure that even if your highest converting blog post was published 2 years ago, that someone interested in you today sees that. And that is where email marketing and incorporating that old post into your current email marketing comes into the game. And so a great tactic that I like to say is the first and easiest and quickest email funnel that you can set up in your business is a greatest hit sequence. And in my video from last year, all about welcome email sequences, I do talk about how you can use and you should use some of your best past content in your welcome sequence. But a way to take this idea even further, especially if you have tons of great content and not a lot of email sales and stuff like that, is creating a whole other sequence or sales funnel or whatever, just based on your best content. So how this looks in my own business, workbrighter.co, which, spoiler alert, is going to be getting its own YouTube channel soon. The way that I do this with Work Brighter is that I have been blogging for years about the Work Brighter topics before I ever started my business or had a product to use a sales funnel to sell with. And so I have tons of old blog posts that could convert people really well, even if they join my list today. So if someone signs up for Work Brighter today, they do get a welcome sequence like I talk about in my Julie Andrews video. That's, wow, I talk about pop culture a lot. So in my welcome welcome sequence video, I talk about Julie Andrews and getting to know you. And so I do that in Work Brighter. And after the Julie Andrews sequence is the share sequence. So many divas. And so after people get to know me through the Julie Andrews sequence, they just get weekly emails of all of my best content from the past 3 years, because I have so much of it, and it can all be used to help persuade interested prospects into paying customers. And so you have a few different options for incorporating your greatest hits into your emails and your sales funnels. So like I said before, you can choose to just incorporate and sprinkle a few of greatest hits in your welcome sequence, in your Julie Andrews sequence. So one option for doing that I see a lot of people do is have one dedicated email of their welcome sequence that says, hey, since you just joined, and you might have missed these posts, here are things that people have really liked in the past. And so they'll just do one big email where they link to a few of their best and highest performing pieces of content. Another option, and this is what I do in the Work Brighter welcome sequence, is that in between kind of harder and more serious emails, like a sales pitch for the Clubhouse, which is the main product for Work Brighter, instead of like having 2 pitches in a row, in that original welcome sequence, there is a piece of my greatest hits content in between to break up the selling. And then, like I said, you can also choose to create a whole sales funnel, a whole separate sales funnel based only on your best content. And I have one of these working for me too. And what that looks like is that I have dedicated emails for each of my most popular blog posts. And if you originally emailed them out to your list the first time they were published, you can even just reuse that email and move it into an automated funnel. So what you can do here is you create an automated email sequence in ConvertKit or MailChimp or whatever you're using. And each email is just pointing to a different piece of your best content from the past year, months, whatever. And so that way you can have it set up to go out however often you need to. And that can supplement the regular, like real-time newsletters and emails you're sending out. They can, that sequence can run in between launches for you if you do a product with an open close launch. Or you can even just have that be the basis of your email marketing strategy, just sending out your greatest hits. I used to do this with my old book blog where I wrote book reviews, and I had hundreds of them. And so then I had an email sequence of the top 25 most popular books. And I would say, here are all of the books that I loved the most, that my subscribers loved the most, and I'm going to be sending them to you once a week. And so that was a 25-week, that's half a year, weekly email sequence. And I was able to make regular sales of my book blogging related products, affiliate sales of the books themselves for 6 months without having to manually send any emails to that list. So that's really, really awesome. And if you don't have time to write weekly emails to your list, an amazing option. And so you've already created your best content. Instead of just trying to recreate it or update it, it's time to compile your greatest hits album that can make you more money and more fame on autopilot. This is where Cher comes in, because she's in her 70s and has been in the music game for literal decades. Like she's been famous as a musician almost her whole life. So that's like half a century. So how is she spending her time nowadays? When was the last time she recorded a new song that everyone really, really loved? So she's not like in the recording studio trying to reinvent her sound for the 100th time. She is not writing brand new music and trying to figure out new things that her audience wants. She is laying relatively low for her and reaping the rewards of her past work. She's leveraging her greatest hits. She's remixing and remastering new versions of Believe. If you've ever searched for Cher Believe on Spotify, you'll see that there are hundreds of different versions between different remixes and remasters. She just keeps using it. She's going on dozens of farewell tours. She has been doing tours just performing the same songs for like a decade now as well. And she's performing her greatest hits in her Las Vegas residencies. And most recently, which is what I'm really excited about as someone who lives in New York City, she turned her life and her work and her music into a Broadway musical, and I am so excited to see it. So she's not making new music anymore, even though she can. She's a goddess. She can pull fantastic music out of her. But she knows she does not need to. She knows that loyal fans like me are not done appreciating and giving her money for her old songs that are so, so good. So even if you're not the Cher of your own industry yet, you don't need to be the biggest and best to start compiling your greatest hits. You should be starting as soon as possible. Like, let's say you have been creating weekly blog posts or videos for a year now. That is 50. That's 50 pieces of content. What if you picked the top 10 of those and created an important sales funnel or email sequence based off of that? What would that be able to do for you? You can get sales so much more consistently. You can make incorporating mentions of your products or your services feel so much more natural when you really are dropping into someone's inbox with just awesome content. And it's so much easier, people. We need to be doing it. It's so easy and it makes money. So let's go through like a list of the benefits. It eliminates the need to write newsletter emails every single week over and over and over. It can help you fill your content calendar for email for months without sitting down and writing any new content. It can help you take advantage of old content you really poured your time and your effort and your creativity into. And it's not making you any money if it's not being used. And it can start making you more consistent sales without constant email launches and sales pitches. Instead of the constant launches and hard pitching and selling, you are just incorporating mentions of your product into your greatest hits. And that is a conversion-focused content strategy that Cher would approve of. So that's all I had for today. Continuing this series of I guess this is full on turned into a series of content marketing advice from the entertainment industry, and I am here for it. So let me know in the comments, would Cher approve of your email marketing? And are you leveraging your greatest hits in it? So let me know that in the comments. And if you're not, also let me know if you want my help, because I do have a special offer that might be perfect for you. So that's all I had for today. And yeah, drop in the comments what you're doing with your greatest hits or how I can help.